first, but
Crazy
then
though,
they give
when I
it
came out of an
to
apartment, I was like, oh, y'all don't need about a third?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I even told myself, I was like, I ain't falling for that trap. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get y'all stuff by the third, just like these apartments. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I ain't falling for that
Bro,
trap.
I always pay like on the 10th or 11th. You know what I'm saying? Just because I can. You know what I'm saying? I have it by the first. It's just because I can. That thing be funny.
I know how I do. You know what I'm saying? I'll let that thing sit to the 15th. Then I'll be like, oh crap! You know what I'm saying? Like, no. You gonna get your stuff right on the third.
That sound all right.
Having a house
buddy.
is so much easier than an apartment. Like when it comes to paying anyway.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You pay online apartments, you gotta go to 7-Eleven and get a
so
money order and do this.
So
and I'm like,
why?
yeah,
And
but
it's crazy how like not too many people can qualify for one, but it's easier.
Yeah.
Like if a person can pay rent for this long, give them a house. They can manage that. Like,
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, bro.
yeah, these people just be messing with people. You know what I'm saying? They want to try to control the
Yeah.
opportunity to get wealth.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's how these people control wealth.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Austin. I was like, bro, it's a
And
reason
it's
why.
even to the point where getting a house is not even, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even wealth no more, man. It's like,
Because the
you know how
price is so
long
high
it
now.
take? Yeah, you know how long it take for you to actually realize wealth with a house, man? I think it's like super cracking. If you do realize some wealth is, or it ain't even really gonna be wealth, but if you realize some wealth, you know what I'm saying? You got what, you know what I'm saying? What, $50,000? You know what I'm saying? That's a high end. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, come on, man, that ain't nothing.
That's exactly my situation. You know, I'll be up to like 65, but then I got to put like 45 on the down payment, and then the rest of it I got to use to fix up whatever.
Yeah,
I'm in.
you know what I'm saying? You
So
even.
it's like,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? At the
exactly.
end of the day, you are even.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But with that, it's like, okay, even with your new house, you know what I'm saying, one day you pay it off perhaps, or you sell it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I made 50 G's. You know what I'm saying?
And
you know what I'm saying?
in
It's like
so many
So
years.
it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like 30 years I've been doing this and I made 50 G's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even
Shit.
that is like,
You get more than that from your job.
yeah,
Oh, really?
that thing is, you know what I'm saying, it's crucial. It's like the ways to really get wealth and realize wealth. You know what I'm saying? These people got that thing locked up. Got people out here trading. You know what I'm saying? Got them trading, you know what I'm saying? Just trading, you know what I'm saying? Stocks and all that. You know what I'm saying? You put your little $5 in the stock. They got you an app. They get you an app and say, okay, well, this is an app with a bank account that if you swipe your card, it's gonna round up whatever you didn't spend of that dollar. So let's say you spend 15, you know what I'm saying, 15 cents, $1.15. It's gonna take that 85 cents that you didn't spend and make it a full dollar. So it looked like instead of $1.15, you spent the full $2. You know what I'm saying? So then it take that 85 cents and it invest it for you. So I'm like, okay. So do you know the average return on the investment in the stock market? You know what I'm saying? It's like point something percent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not even getting a penny from my pennies.
Yeah, if you put your money in a CD account, you know what I'm saying? That thing don't give you no interest
Yeah,
like that.
you know what I'm saying?
It'll give you like what, 50 cents after like a couple years?
Yeah, it's gonna give you like 2%, 3%. You know what I'm saying? If you got a regular, regular little savings account. You know what I'm saying? And that's annual. That means in a year
You'll get 2 cents.
you get 3% from what you put in there. So it's like that's nothing when you're putting $5. When you put in little 85 cents.
Yep.
That's big when you putting, $500,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these people, you think you doing something. Like if you look at the stocks on the stats on the stock market, it's like 80, you know what I'm saying? Like 85% are the super wealthy people using the stock market. They carve out this little tiny percent to make y'all feel like y'all doing something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you won't have one story of a person who's not rich investing and then becoming rich. Like that is not a real thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's like people don't understand it. They just, you know what I'm saying, they listen to these people on TV, these people that just tell them anything and just like stop and question this stuff. Like,
Yep.
sure, this guy's gonna tell you, well, yeah, this is where we've been getting it wrong, you know what I'm saying? We gotta circulate the black dollar and this. Just ask yourself, when is just give me an example of any community this being a success story. No, you guys are looking at it backwards. You guys are looking at people who already have money, and to retain the money that they already have, they invest. That's why you invest. You invest to keep wealth, to retain wealth, to grow wealth. You do not invest to create wealth that did not already exist.
That thing's crazy. I
You know
never
what I'm
understood
saying?
that either.
Investing is investing. You know what I'm saying? It means you're taking wealth, you're putting into it so that it will grow.
Yeah.
And really, it's not really growing. It's just keeping up with
So
inflation.
it's like I got $100,000. I'm gonna buy this house for $100,000. I don't have a mortgage, and I'm gonna use that to create more money,
Yeah.
and then sell it eventually. You can never do that without the $100,000 to begin with.
No.
So it's
I
like,
can't do that with $5. There's no investment that I can do and be like, okay, this $5. I'm gonna buy this for $5, and I'm gonna let this $5 turn into. It just you can't do it with $5. That's not investing at that point. It's a hustle at that point.
Yeah.
You can hustle with $5. You know what I'm saying? $5. Okay, this $5. I'm gonna go buy this T-shirt. Okay, go buy this T. Okay, then I'm gonna write on this T-shirt and do this. Then I'm gonna sell this T-shirt for $15. Okay, now I made a $10 profit. Now I'm gonna go buy 2 T-shirts and I'm gonna write on both of those T-shirts. $15. Boom, boom, boom. You can keep doing that, and then it's like, okay, now I have this much money. You know what I'm saying? Now, like after doing all that, guess what? Now I got like $1,000. Ooh, okay. Now I'm gonna take this $1,000 and now find a new hustle. But us, we gotta hustle until we get $100,000.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's no just investing. We don't have no opportunity to just drop money somewhere. We gotta hustle, and then we get $100,000. The problem is there's not very many hustles left that'll get you $100,000.
yeah, everything been done already.
Yeah, especially now.
That's why it's like work. That's why like they had like our people had like a little bit more back then. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they said we declining because you know what I'm saying.
Everything haven't been thought of. Everything haven't been, you know what I'm saying? Like the industries haven't, like at this point, it's not really new industries that are like we had an opportunity in the past where you could be ahead of a new industry. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's not really new industries. You might have new sectors within the industry. You know what I'm saying? Or you might have like a new idea, a transformation of an industry or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where you have, but it's like it's gonna be tech, okay? And now when you're in tech, then you already know it's a lot of racism there. So it's like I don't even want black folks in there. And it's not even like against black folks. It's just like, okay, well hold on, let me just figure this out. I own Facebook. I need developers, so I can get kids from India who come over here on a visa, who I can pay the low, and that's all these boys do. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been born and bred and raised to do tech, to develop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can get them for the low, bring them over on the visa as part of their visa, and some of these people even work for me for free on the internship. You know what I mean? Or I can hire Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? He's an excellent student from Watts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He pushed himself, but you know what those black people are. It's a risk, right? In their mind, they looking at it like that's a risk. And he's an American citizen. So guess what?
You gotta pay him more.
I gotta pay that boy. You know what I'm saying? I gotta pay that boy.
Yep.
And then he's black. Some of the people that already work here are not too into black people. Do I really want that here? Maybe I'll put him in another spot. So Tyrone get a job at Facebook. Tyrone got to do, you know what I'm saying? He got to monitor. He got to monitor censorship. You know what I'm saying? He got to monitor. You know what I'm saying? Somebody say something that's racist. Tyrone go ahead and look into that. You know what I'm saying? While the other people got the good jobs, the developers and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we, you know what I'm saying? The people got to be educated in a way where they know, like, what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? They got to know what's really going on. They got to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a playing field that specifically for us, for our people, for descendants of the slave, descendants of the people brought over here on the transatlantic in America. You know what I'm saying? Specifically for us, like, man, it wasn't built for us. You know what I'm saying? So like, our only opportunity really is to break these people down and make them rebuild it, make them open up these doors. These people, you know what I'm saying? I saw a meme yesterday about how you gonna vote your way out of a problem that you didn't vote it, that you didn't vote yourself into. And it's like, well, sure, we didn't vote ourselves into the problem, but certainly this was a vote that got us into this problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these people, all this stuff was law. All this stuff was law, slavery, all that stuff was law. All that stuff was agreed upon, right? And these people, and for it to stop, it took votes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, sure, we didn't participate in the vote. You know what I'm saying? We were just chattel. You know what I'm saying? We were just, you know what I'm saying? We were just walking capital. You know what I'm talking about? So they captured us and they used us. But certainly they voted. So now people gotta vote again. You know what I'm saying? We can try everything else. The only thing we haven't tried at this point is just going to war with these people. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing we ever tried. The only thing we ever tried is rallying up the troops. All black people get a gun, just start shooting at these folks. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I haven't tried. And it's like if you look at that, it's like, oh, well, we lose that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we lose that one. Sure, I mean, nobody wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? And certainly, if it came down to it, a lot of people gonna be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Them white folk probably not gonna wanna, they're not, because there's gonna be some deaths on both sides, and it's gonna look bad, and you know what I'm saying? The whole world go see it, and it's gonna be like, good, you killed all those black folks, it's just never gonna go over well. So, you know what I'm saying? So it is, I understand the tactic. I understand why some black people is like, we just need to split and go to war and this, that, and the other, because the you know what I'm saying, the optics of it all, before it ever got to that point, it would probably change a few things. However, though, if somebody called our bluff, we're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't win that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a winning strategy. You know what I'm saying? So you're taking a big risk there. You know what I'm saying? You might want to relax. You know what I'm saying? Might want to relax. But, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, there's ways to do it without that. You know what I'm saying? It's ways like we haven't tried to politically move this thing. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, every time that I'm not going to say we haven't tried, every time that we made progress moving things politically.
Some knucklehead black dude they put in the forefront and like ruin it.
Not just that. I'm talking about the times that it wasn't necessarily knuckleheads. They had to kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you understand? Like, they have to take it to warfare. Because it's like think about that. That they need to take it to warfare when we're starting to change the hearts of the country. When we trying to teach this whole country how to be moral. Like, you guys are animals. Let me teach you guys how to like have compassion and love. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to love everybody. Like, what are you guys doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are animals. You gotta call yourself Christians. Stop being ridiculous. Right? And at that point, they shoot Dr. King and they shoot Malcolm X and they kill Fred Hampton and they kill, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these different people, like they have to take it to warfare when we not even doing that. Yeah. So that should tell you, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, when was the last time, like, they felt the need to assassinate the black man that's like, no, I do it by myself, pull myself up by my own bootstraps. I don't need y'all black business. Like, when was the last time that guy got assassinated? No. They don't have a need. They looking at him at the back like, oh, yeah, that's right. My type of black guy.
That's right.
But that's the stuff they want us to preach.
Yeah, that's true, though. That is very true.
That stuff don't alter wealth in the white community. You walking in talking about, yeah, no, I don't need you. You know what get on their nerve? The stuff that bother them? When you talking about how you gonna take some of their money.
Or they making them feel guilty. But yeah, you should.
You owe us.
Yeah.
You get to tell them you owe us? Oh, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
That's when folks start getting killed.
Dr. King was saying you owe us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no,
we coming to get our check, is what the man said.
Yeah. And really, black people love using Dr. King, but Dr. King wouldn't even rock with him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Not some of the stuff they be saying. I'm like, man, you talking that Dr. King stuff. You know Dr. King. They're like, don't be talking about white folks owe this and that, or they ain't gonna give you. I was like, well, that's what Dr. King. That's why Dr. King got killed. You know that thing's true. Like, Dr. King was like trying to get us economic stability. Y'all over here just want them to love you and accept you. You know, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? That's cool, but you know what I'm saying? Repair what you broke is what Dr. King was saying.
You keep hating me, bro. I
don't
care. Give my money. You know what I'm about? Give my money. Because after that, after we get our check, after we get our money, then we can have a conversation that we don't need them.
Yeah.
Like, that's when we had that conversation. Like, I'm not talking to you about how much I don't need you when you owe me money.
Yeah.
That's not even a part of the conversation. It don't matter whether I need you. Give me my, like, you owe me money. What are you talking about? When was the last time a bill collector called you and be like, I'm just calling to let you know I don't need you? That's stupid. Do you think, you know what I'm saying? Well, what company these people owe money to? You think Capital One needs you? You got a collection right now with darn Capital One, and do you think they need you?
No.
Without your little itty bitty, you know what I'm saying, $700 that you owe them, do you think they would crush? They got a fold up shop. No, they don't need your butt. They were just darn a statistic.
Yep.
They ain't thinking about you individually. But guess what? You about to get that call. You definitely gonna get that call. Excuse me, just have to let you know this is a collection of a debt. This is an attempt to collect the debt. have to let you know that before I start the call. Is it okay that we continue? All right, well, you have this much to do. You're definitely getting the call. You're getting the call. They don't need you, though, but you're going to get the call. Same thing with me, that's all. White man, you know what I'm saying? Ain't even white man, honestly. American government. That's all it is. You understand how it works. I'm just calling you. I'm just calling you to let you know this is an attempt to collect a debt. You know what I'm talking about? ADOS. You know what I'm saying? We need our check.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Individually. You know what I'm saying? Just give it to us. Oh, no. It don't stop at the check either. Go ahead and put some programs in. You know what I'm talking about?
And protective policy in place.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to cut the check and then give these white folks a chance to take it right back from them.
Just in case the Klan try to come burn down our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like this stuff is not rocket science. This stuff is actually very reasonable. It's stuff that we deal with in our lives every day. The problem is everybody want to act like it's something that they ain't never heard of before. That this is just so, I don't even I mean, you just listen to these people talk about it. I don't even understand. I mean, how would you even, what, every black person gets a check? Like, why are you worried about, like, we talking about a debt right now, right? Why are you worried about exactly how it's going to be doled out? Can we agree that we owe a debt? As an American country, I'll put myself into it. All citizens of America owe a debt. To who? Me. Right? That's it. If you want to be a citizen, you know what I'm saying, you want to remain a citizen, then, you know what I'm saying, pay your debt. That's what we do. You know, that's what they used to say all the time. It's like, oh, well, you know how much we in debt. Ain't that what the people used to say, you know how much in debt we are to China? You know what I'm saying? Remember they used to say that? You know how in debt we are to China?
No, I ain't heard nobody say nothing like that.
Oh, no, they don't talk that. They don't talk that much now. Because people under, you know what I'm saying, stuff is different. Like, people understand, like, how stuff actually works. We are still in debt to China, but people understand how stuff works a little more now. But you know what I'm saying? Back then, it was like, oh, it's a big deal. China, at any point, China could, I remember they used to tell me, at any point, China could just take over. Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I got over there and started realizing, oh, these people didn't know what they had talked about. China can't darn do nothing. You know what I'm saying? China got to sit their butt down and ask for their money. And guess who paid them? America, on time. When was the last time you heard an immigrant come in talking about, no, that debt that America got to China ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't want to pay no tax for that. Immigrant come in, they get their citizenship. They be like, no. Well, before I take my citizenship, I don't want to pay that tax. I don't want that to come out of my taxes because I ain't got nothing to do with that China debt. When was the last time you seen that? You'll never see it. So I'm trying to figure out how an immigrant gonna come over, and then they gonna say they don't feel like they should have to pay for reparations. I saw that the other day. I said, oh yeah, you done lost your darn mind. You stay your butt where you at.
Yeah, right.
If you join in our country, you got to pay whatever the debt is that our country got.
The country that we build, that you enjoying the fruits of.
Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want that?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to pay taxes into the country that you love, that you came to?
Like, they gave you all of this good stuff because they didn't want to give it to me. So, it's
like how crazy is that? How un-American is that?
Yeah.
To me, that should just disqualify. You say some foolishness like that, get your butt back. You know what I'm saying? Go on, take your butt back to wherever you came from. Where you come from? Africa, you came from darn Middle East. There's a lot of people from Middle East. Get your butt to the Middle East. Get back to Mexico, to El Salvador. You know what I'm saying? Wherever you darn came from, take your butt back. Yep. We ain't got no time for it. Jamaica, get your butt back over there. Sit your butt down. You come over here, you need to be an American. Right? You know what I'm saying? If you're American, you proud to pay your darn tax. You give me my darn money. Cut my check, give me my darn money. I want everybody to give me my money. You know what I'm saying? What we talking? What we leave off last week? You said we was in John 10. Let's look at Luke chapter 10. Did we read Luke chapter 10 already? No. All right, this is Luke chapter 10.
After these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place where he himself would come. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but
he said the harvest truly is great, but what?
The laborers are few.
He said, but there's only a few people that are gonna get out there and do the work.
Praise
He said, man, listen, when they said the harvest is great, he said it's a whole lot of wheat out there that could be picked. It need to be put in the sheaves. You know what I'm saying? The sheaf is, you know, so you pick a whole bunch of wheat, then you bundle it up and you wrap it. They call that a sheaf. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole. He said, man, that's a big old field. There's a whole lot of wheat out there. You know, there's a whole lot of wheat that just need to be gathered in. But he said, guess what? It's only a few people to do the work. Keep going. Watch this.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest.
Right? So he's saying, man, pray that the Most High God send more people to do the harvest. So what's he just? It's a parable, right? What's he actually talking about?
It's about the disciple.
What up?
He said, man, it's a lot of people that need to hear this word.
Need to hear the word, yeah.
A lot of people that need to hear
It's
the
only a
word. A
few.
lot of people that need to be pulled out of the situation that they in.
You only got 12 to work with.
We only got a couple people that'll run out there and be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, man, pray that the Most High God to send more. He letting you know that it's gonna be way more people looking for education, looking for teaching, looking for guidance, than it is people to give that guidance. All right, keep going. Watch this.
Go your ways, behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves.
He said, I'm sending you forth as lambs among wolves. That means that the whole world at your butt. I mean, just understand what he's saying. He's trying to give him the game right now. He said, I'm sending you forth as a lamb among wolves. Does a lamb eat a wolf, or does a wolf eat a lamb?
Wolf eat a lamb.
Okay, so the Most High God is choosing to send you out as a defenseless lamb amongst a pack of wolves. It's his choice that he's doing. You got to know what you're stepping into. All right, watch this.
Carry neither purse nor scrip, nor shoes, and salute no man by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And into whatsoever house you enter, first say, peace be to this house.
Mm-hmm.
And if the son of peace be there, your
Hold on,
purse-
go back. He said, carry neither what?
Purse nor scrip nor shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And salute no man by the way.
Okay.
And into whatsoever house you enter, first say, peace be unto this house.
Mm-hmm.
And if the son of peace be there, your peace shall rest upon it.
Mhm.
If not, it shall return to you again.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same house remain eating and drinking such things as they give, for the laborers is worthy of his hire.
Mm-hmm.
Go not forth house to house. Go not from house to house, and enter and into whatsoever city you enter, and they receive you. Eat such things as are set before you.
Mm-hmm. So what he's telling them is, don't be going there all prepared, right? You go, don't bring nothing with you. You know what I'm saying? Just go. Don't be talking to nobody along the way. Be focused. You know what I'm saying? Get to where you need to go. So I get the street preaching. He said, don't even salute nobody along the way. You know what I'm saying? I get these boys shut up, shout on the strip, talking about Jesus loves you, yelling at people that drunk. Boy, you got a drunk man walk by. He's just trying to have a good darn time. You get in his way talking about Jesus love you. He ought to smack you with that darn bottle. Talking to him about some Jesus love him. He know that. That's why he drinking. You know what I'm talking about? That thing is offensive. I'd be mad if I was a Christian, some Christian tried to tell me something about Jesus. I'd be like, what do you think I don't know? You know what I'm saying? Be whatever I want to be. If a Christian, like the, what's it called? The army? Be all you could be. Be whatever you want to be, you a Christian. That ain't crazy. Yeah, I was just talking to Carrie and her husband, Devon, came over here. You know what I'm saying? We had a good time. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to them about it. You know what I'm saying? I was just kind of letting them know, like, you know what I'm saying? It all makes sense if you understand the history of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And she is asking about Judaism. And she's like, aren't you guys like kind of some of what you do? She's trying to be delicate. You know what I'm saying? Some of what you do, like, in some way, she's just watching my face as she asks the question. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, well,
just say it.
You know what I'm saying?
Disrespectful, that's why.
I was like, well, you know what I'm saying? If you understand the history of it all, then it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I gave her the long, drawn out history, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and other. You know, then spent like 20 minutes, you know what I'm saying, talking to her at the very end. And I was like, so that's a long way of saying that I'm not a Muslim, Christian, or a Jew. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't practice Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm a disciple. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to understand it, man. All these people are, it come up from misunderstanding. Like the Christians birthed from learning a little bit about the Messiah, you know what I'm saying? And then all the history, all the foundation of that teaching being ripped away because the Hebrews getting chased out of their land by the Romans. Right? So now as a Gentile, I learned like this little piece of it, and it's like I don't really understand the rest, so I do the best I can with it. And that turned into the Catholic Church, and that turned into all these different things, the Protestants, and they come over to America, and and now you have what we have today. Right? Just a misunderstanding. People don't get it. They don't understand the history. That's why they say the Old Testament is not, because for a Gentile, the Old Testament is not important.
Yeah, that's true.
The Old Testament is our history. That's literally our history, right? So I'm a Gentile. What I'm gonna sit here and try to like understand? No, I'm from Rome. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm not trying to understand stuff. Don't even make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? You know what's important to me as a Gentile? The part where Paul was like, Gentiles too.
Yep.
So guess who my favorite person in the book gonna be? Paul. So if you go to these Christian churches, Paul. 9 times out of 10, they reading Paul. Because that's just part of how the tradition developed. That's how it's gonna go. Paul, as they claim the fame. Right? That caused Hebrew Israelites to reject Paul. They like, oh, that's Christian claim to fame. Paul is, that Paul didn't, he wasn't even with God. He wasn't even a real apostle and all that. So you look at it, you call just from one misunderstanding, now you got this other misunderstanding. Everybody just misunderstanding the whole lot.
That's crucial. It's like
it's crucial.
the Messiah appeared to him directly.
Yep.
You running your mouth against Paul, boy, you better. What's wrong with you?
The man.
You gonna throw Paul out? The man who probably got it the best?
Yeah.
The man ain't.
He went in to study. He had to go study all the way up.
We can't even fast forward.
Paul didn't even learn from nobody after he saw
Nobody had to teach Paul nothing. You understand this?
Right.
Like nobody had to teach Paul nothing.
He saw the Messiah, that was it.
Paul knew the law.
Yeah.
Right?
He knew everything.
He was taught the law.
Matter of fact, Peter and them wasn't even.
They wasn't even well versed.
Yeah, they wasn't. They was just learning from the Messiah's feet. They wasn't like very.
Messiah walking along with it, he just spoon feeding these boys.
Paul was
You
like a scribe.
you saw it in the book.
Yeah.
In Luke. We gotta fast forward to get to it, but we ain't even gonna do it. Luke chapter 24. Messiah walked them through the entire book.
Yeah.
He had to teach them from the whole book, like, yo, this is me, this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other.
And he probably wouldn't even did it and would have told them, go talk to Paul. He probably would have, because Paul knew everything. Paul knew everything already.
He knew that thing.
He just didn't know who the Messiah was. You know what I'm saying?
Do you understand? Like, nobody taught Paul anything. This is what it is. This is what happened. Paul walking along, he see a vision of Yahushua. Yahushua living like, nah, for real, I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Paraphrase ain't how it go, but yeah, no, I'm real, for real. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't believe what's going on, but you know what I'm saying? This is legit. That's it. After that, Paul was able to say, okay, if this is factual, then that means everything I thought about the book has been misunderstood. So let's re-review. And mentally, he goes through the whole book and is able to say, oh, Yahushua, that's Yahushua, that's Yahushua, and that's Yahushua. Like, do you understand what type of skill that is? Like, I knew this book. The only thing that helps me put it all together is I confirm that this guy is real. Oh, this was legit. Oh, in that case, oh, this belong here. This go here. Got it. In a couple years, that boy out teaching folks.
Yeah.
He's out teaching the other apostles.
Yeah, he was.
That boy taking it to all the Gentiles. The Hebrews that's in these cities looking at Paul like, boy, you making a fool out of yourself. Boy, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's go holler at Peter and them. Let's go holler at James and if you think you know what you're talking about. Paul come up, Peter and James like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They like,
He said,
these supposed to be the boys.
Peter said, I know Paul's things sound a little bit complicated, but, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
They had to write a letter and be like, nah, what Paul was talking about, yeah. Paul looking like, and I never learned from them. What you talking about? I've never been to them. They ain't never taught me a word. You look at that, you gonna run your mouth again. Paul, they put in lost day mind.
Yeah, man. They be mad.
Most High God, man, all these people lucky the Most High God don't strike people down. He struck these, man, I'm trying to tell you. These people have some respect, man. They have some respect for these men.
You told Paul.
These men bled over this thing. You read about everything Paul suffered over this thing, man. He ain't talked to, that boy ain't talked to nobody. Ain't nobody tell him, yo, this is how you need to do it. He ain't had no training. Didn't go nobody darn seminary. They had none of that stuff. This boy got out there. He is educated. Do not make a mistake. The boy knew what he was talking about when it came to the book. Had the whole thing together. When it came to the Messiah, though, all it took was, oh, he real? If he real, then that means this verse got to mean this. This verse, that means that was right when they were talking about that. Oh, okay, I get it.
It was similar to how we felt when we started to understand. It was like, oh, well, you know.
Stuff got to rearrange.
This there, this means that. And, oh.
Stuff got to rearrange. That's all this stuff is. You get lied to is because you're missing information and other information is arranged improperly. You got to get in and be like, okay, well, this actually supposed to go here. That was the book talking about when it's talking about line upon line, precept upon precept. This stuff is all misarranged. See, I'm going to give it to the babes. Babe, what you going to be? It got to be line upon line, precept upon precept. It's a puzzle. This thing is just a mess.
It makes sense to me now when I like understand that, understanding like why certain boundaries are set. Like stay away from this, stay away from that.
He trying to let you know.
Yeah.
You without that, yo better be out there
It
confused.
was extremely similar to me when like reading it. It was like extremely similar to like how lyricists write their rhymes. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that's like confirms that we the people, because it's like, oh, we just write like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just in our nature to write like this. Like every meaningful like expert lyricist, you know what I'm saying, in the way they write their raps, you know what I'm saying, reading the book was like kind of similar for me. Like it kind of reminded me of like a very complex rap. Like, oh,
Yeah, it is.
crazy.
That's what it is, man. This thing is it's a super complex, everything tied back into the other thing. You know what I'm saying? And hidden meanings and all this stuff, just like some complex rap. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? But you still got people out here who don't know, right? And it's because of tradition, right? Tradition, like you had a Catholic tradition, and then what we know as most of the Christianity now was birthed out of rebellion to that Catholic tradition. You know what I'm saying? You got Protestants. You know what I'm saying? So it's like both of them wrong, but then now you have another group that rebels to that, which is the Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
And now they wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because your source is wrong. Like you're reacting to an incorrect assessment. So now you basing it off of that assessment and just saying, well, no, I think this part. It's like, no, the whole foundation of it is wrong. You got to go back. Like you can't just form an opinion based off of somebody else's opinion. You got to go back to the source. That's why when we approach it, it was different. We didn't go to one of these groups and be like, and you just ask for people history, man. Just tell them, how'd you come to, how'd you get to this, that, and another, and just hope they tell you the truth. A lot of people, you know, they tell you a lie. But you know what I'm saying? You go to it. We didn't go to no darn ICUP or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? These what is it? ICIU? Whatever these. What is it? Israel
United in Christ.
Israel United. So what is that? IUIC. You know what I'm saying? We can go to no darn IUIC and look at these people, and a bunch of folks just dressed in purple told us, look, this is what you're supposed to do. And then we took that and we was like, that thing never happened.
No, we was reading this thing in the dark corner.
Never happened. Matter of fact, them people would have came up to it. Our Christian self would have been like, nah, bro, you crazy. We Gentile. If they did come up to it, we would have been like, you crazy. No, we read the book first. Most of our God knew how to bring it to us. We read the book first, so we got the foundation. Then somebody come to us talking about, yeah, you know Hebrews is black. Then it's like, you know what, Deuteronomy 28, now that you say something. Like, do you see the difference though?
Yeah.
It's like when you know the book, all you need is somebody to be like, this is real. Then you can say, wait a minute, if I move this over here, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why it worked out with Paul. You can't just come to it. Paul already know the book. You can't just come to Paul, you know what I'm saying? You just got to be like, Paul just got to know it's fact. Once he know it's fact, then it's like, oh, okay. All right, no, scratch it. Let's rewrite all, boom, okay, boom, we good. He put all that together, that's good. That's a couple years I can put all that together, just mentally. Just going back over the book and like, you can imagine, he took them years off, you can imagine what he was doing, just looking back at the scripture like, this. That's how they right. That's exactly how it works. Boom, okay, boom. Now I see. I already knew the book. You know what I'm saying? We was already getting familiar with the book. So you tell us, okay, Hebrew, black. Oh.
That's kind of happened to me too.
You tell us, okay, hold on, the Sabbath. Oh, that makes sense. Because you know what? It didn't make sense why Most High God say keep the Sabbath and all of a sudden it just don't matter now. That part didn't make sense. But if you tell us it always matters, Yahushua's commandments is what gets us into the kingdom. And then the commandments outside of Yahushua that came from the Most High God is what makes us great in the kingdom. You know what? That's exactly what the man said. It changes things. It's like, oh, that's why the Christians think it's done away with. Oh, that's why the Hebrew Israelites think that these Christians are crazy and they lawbreakers. Right? It's like you can see both sides, but it's like both of y'all are reacting to traditions. Meanwhile, we out trying to get the source. And we trying to teach people the source. The book is right here. I don't see why we arguing. I don't see no point. I don't see it. Ain't no sense. Ain't no sense in me going back and forth in the book right here. Let's just read the book. Like, when's the last time you had a person come up to you and be like, hey, just help me learn the book? That's not everybody know it. Everybody know you. Everybody know. Everybody you talk to. No, I mean I didn't read the Bible a couple times. I've been reading the Bible since my grandpa used to make me read the Bible. I was in Sunday school. I used to get awards. Everybody got some story about how they just know the book so well. I'd be like, all right, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me mess you up then. My fault. You just know the book so good. You done read it so many times.
Every time I open that thing, I was like, I never knew. I never read. I was never told.
Just lying. Just go sit there and lie. You ain't read no darn book. You done read a passage out of the book. And you done read the same darn passage for 7 years. You ain't read the book 7 years worth. We reading through the book now. All the stuff we look at. I done read, you know how many times I done read through this darn book? And I still look at it and be like, goodness darn great.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no. I be doing it too. I be messing down. Like, wait a second.
Like, goodness darn gracious.
I was reading Psalms this morning, like, I forgot about
Oh, song will light you up every time.
I was like, oh, God. Yeah, they killed me how they were like, read Psalms, you want to feel better. They're like, no, God's talking about Xing things and
You know what I'm
Psalms.
saying? Pretty mean. You know what I'm saying?
He's talking about killing people in Psalms.
Pretty mean, you know what I'm saying?
A whole lot of vengeance going on. You know, then you got my man David asking God to kill everybody.
That's right.
God, get him. Just kill him now, please.
That's right, man.
Oh, that's bad.
And it's right too. You know what I'm saying? Like that thing is right too. You know what I'm saying? That's how that thing go, man. It's a lot of stuff in this book, man. A lot of stuff that these people haven't even taken the time to uncover and try to take a look at and give heed to. A lot of stuff that we ain't even like emphasize, and you know what I'm saying? It's just so much. All people gotta do is just humble themselves and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like help me understand the book though. Like don't ask me about eschatology. You know what I'm saying? Like don't ask me about, man, well what you think, you know what I'm saying? Like can you go to heaven if you do this? Like don't ask me those questions. Like that's too self-centered. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna get there. You got your own goal that you're trying to get to, and no matter what answer you get, it might feel right to you. You know what I'm saying? Like forget that. Like forget individual questions. Ask me, how do you understand the book? How do you understand the source? What is God trying to say? What does God want from me? Those are questions I want to hear. People ask me those questions, they be like, oh, you just warmed my darn heart. Right? All this other stuff is just argument. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, this, that, and other. And we can go there. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. We can go there. I'm just trying to let you know it's like, that's not going to be longevity for you. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to stick to this thing, you're trying to make it into the kingdom at the end of this thing, you got to be thinking big than the individual subject that you believe came from the Bible. From some individual, you know what I'm saying, controversy that's at the church that you come from. You know what I'm saying? Well, the Jewish people say this, the Hebrew Israelites say this, and the Christians say this. Which one is true? Well, that one's true. But you know what I'm saying? Like let's get to the crux of everything. Like let me just show you how to look in the book. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you might not ever have to worry about that. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might not ever have to worry about, okay, rapture. Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's fake. No, you're right. It's wrong. Okay, good. You know that now, but you're still going to hell. So even if it was real, you wouldn't have experienced it. You know what I mean? So it's like what are we doing? Let's talk about some real stuff. Let's talk about the only thing I want to talk about, what's a sin and what's not a sin. That's what I want to talk about. Because you know what? To me, that's the most simple thing. And guess what? Don't nobody know. That's the most simple thing. And I'm not saying simple in a demeaning way to be like, oh, if you don't get it, you stupid. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the Most High God has presented that to us in the most straightforward way. Right? And then it is the most, out of everything, it is the most detrimental knowledge, piece of knowledge.
The most important thing, he left that pretty straightforward.
Yes. And it's like,
everybody
that is the one thing.
Tell the future and prophesy, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the
Because
simplest
it don't
thing.
matter if you can do all that, you still don't
Right.
make it. You don't make it.
Yeah. It's like the simplest thing is what's needed.
That's right. And it's like, don't nobody know it. You ask anybody, what's a sin? Everything is a sin. What's a sin? If you transgress the law of Moses, what's a sin? This, that, and that. It's like, oh, y'all wrong. There's some Hebrew Israelites just pooped on their darn self when I just said that. He just said transgression of the law of Moses is not a sin. See, that's what I've been trying to tell y'all. Stop listening to him. I already know. It's like the book is sitting here, he trying to tell you, the man sitting here trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't nobody know. And don't nobody even care to stop and humbly be like, well, what is a sin? How do we figure this out? How did you come to that? Where is the scripture to back that up? Y'all want to have all these pride fights. All right, this is Luke chapter 10. Where we at?
Verse 8.
It's Luke chapter 10, verse 8.
And into whatsoever city you enter, and they receive you, eat such things as are set before you.
Mm-hmm.
And heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them, the kingdom of God is come near unto you.
Mm-hmm.
But into whatsoever city you enter, and they receive you not, go your ways out into the streets of the same, and say, even the very dust of your city, which cleaves on us, we do wipe off against you. Notwithstanding, be sure of this, that the kingdom of God is come near unto you.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you that it shall be more tolerable in that day for Sodom than for that city. Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works had been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you, they had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like the man sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, like if this was done somewhere else, they would have repented. It's like now you gotta deal with the thought. This is the type of stuff I think about when I look at the book. When I read that, I had to deal with the thought that Most High God knew exactly what to do to make these people repent, and he did. Like he chose not to. He chose to judge these nations instead. He judged Tyre, and what else? Sidon.
Yeah.
He judged Tyre and judged Sidon. Matter of fact, that's what we read now talking about it.
Ezekiel.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all in Ezekiel?
Just started Ezekiel.
Yeah, I'm on the fact.
Yeah, just started Ezekiel. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? He talking about it now, and what we reading about judging those nations. So those nations by this time had already been judged.
Ezekiel heavy.
And he telling them, he looking like, oh, they wouldn't even been judged like that had like this been happening. If somebody would walk around doing miracles like I'm doing right now, that everybody would have been good. So he pointed out, you remember in Ezekiel when we read, he said, I'm sending you to your own people. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm sending you to your own people. These people talk your darn language. He said, matter of fact, if I sent you to a people that talked a different language,
they would listen.
a people that was far away, they would hear you out.
Bro, and that's another thing, how the Hebrew Israelites think. Yeah, ain't nobody else gonna get in. With the whole time the Most High God talk about how stubborn we is and everybody else not.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Making a fool.
It's like Most High God just bashed us through the whole book. He talked about how
That's why our book's so different. That's why our book's so different.
He talks bad about us the whole book.
You go to these other religions, bro. You go to all these other religions, they all self, you know what I'm saying, grandizing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we're Egyptians, and Egyptians the great, Book of the Dead, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All these different religions. You know what I'm saying? You get to talking about them, and all it is like, you know what I'm saying, positive, and this, that, and the other. Our stuff, man tear us up the whole book. we got maybe 2 or 3 chapters where we doing all right. You know what I'm talking about?
But Messiah said, a prophet without honor except in his own country. Is not without honor except in his own country. Then God tell Ezekiel, if you go to another nation, they'd hear you. And it's like, and then he says to the centurion, I've never seen this type of faith, not even in Israel.
Yeah, and all the Israelites seen this faith.
Like, what makes you think that no one else is getting in? When he been talking about,
he don't even really mess with you. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody else
trying to tell you that he don't mess with you.
It's like, these my kids and they don't even listen to me.
Yeah, but
you know, that's like, that thing killed me. Then people was like talking that crazy stuff.
You so mad at these Gentiles, they gonna be getting in. You ain't gonna be getting in.
oh yeah, he's been Gentile passing some of these folks.
That was
A lot of these folks, these Gentiles gonna pass them right on up. But I mean, that's just the nature of what it is. I mean, the man put it in. He set it up like that. Had these people talking this crazy nonsense.
But it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the judgment than for you.
Mm-hmm.
And thou, Capernaum, which are exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. He that hears you hears me, and he that despises you despises me.
Okay.
And he that despises me despises him that sent me.
Mm-hmm. So you see how that go?
And for all the people that talk bad about Paul.
See how that go? That easy. All right. These people don't even know what they're doing. Somebody come to you talking about the word of the Most High God, you reject him. They don't even realize, they're not looking at it like, oh, y'all, she was standing right in front of me and I'm rejecting him. They don't see it that way. Right? But that's what's happening. That's how Yahushua was taught. He's trying to tell them, like, listen, I'm sending you. So therefore, if they hear you, they hear me. They don't hear you, they rejecting me. And by rejecting me, they rejecting the one that sent me. Like that, got that. That's done. All right? Watch it. Keep going.
And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through your name.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, I beheld.
So remember, he seen, you know what I'm saying? So he sent the 70 out. He gave them their marching orders. Then they came back to him. And they were saying, listen, you know what I'm saying? Even the devil. So you remember, Yahushua been talking, and he been talking to demons to tell them, yeah, you know what I'm saying, come out of her and doing all this stuff, right? So that's where like the average Christian get this idea, like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, gifts of the Spirit, and every Christian should have one, and all this stuff, this, that, and the other. But that's not the case. Yahushua individually picked 70 people and sent them out, right? So he gave them the power to be able to cast out demons. You will notice that throughout the book, not everybody can cast out demons, right? This is something that followed the saints. This is something that followed the saints that Yahushua touched and that the apostles touched. But as you start to get further away from people who had direct contact with Yahushua or people that were directly sent by Yahushua, you start to see that people don't have those gifts, right? When we get into Acts, we'll look at examples of that, right? But not everybody has those gifts. So these 70 individuals specifically had the gift. Otherwise, we ain't got no business talking to no devil. That don't make no sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm going to talk to the Most High God. Most High God gave them the power to do it, and then they cast out the devils. Now they came back surprised, and they like, yo, even the devils are subject to us. This is a special thing. Watch this.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
This is a vision that this prophecy that the Most High God is giving. He said, I beheld Satan doing what?
As lightning fall from heaven.
As lightning fall from heaven. So he just gave him a vision. This is what's about to happen right when he dies. Right? As he dies and he starts to go up and go to the right hand of the Father, Satan has to come down. So he's giving them that vision. He's like, they sitting there excited, like, man, even the devils is like, and he's letting them know, like, oh, don't even worry about it. He coming on down. He coming on down. We ain't got to get it right now, but in Revelation they tell us even more. Like they start warning us. All right, let's grab it real quick. It's Revelation chapter 13, 12. It's Revelation chapter 12. Give me verse 17. Yeah, see, everybody had this idea that Satan was cast out at the beginning of time. Right? Satan was cast out, and that's how he made it into the garden. Right? That's how the serpent was in the garden. But it's like, no, that's not what the book says. You'll never read it. You'll never see anything that references Satan being kicked out of heaven and sent down into the Garden of Eden and turned into a serpent. Like, that's a myth. All that's a myth. The serpent was created, and the serpent was created as a serpent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no trickery. It wasn't a punishment. That was his purpose, to be a serpent and to deceive. That's why the book say he was a liar from the beginning, because he was created to be that serpent and to deceive. Watch this. Verse 17, that ain't what I want. Revelation 12, verse 5. I want that far up?
Yeah, because 17 is the end of the chapter. You missed the whole thing, so you won't like it.
No, I don't want 5 then. If that's the end, then give me 13.
Alright.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 13.
No, you won't like 11.
Alright, give me Revelation chapter 12, verse 11.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
All right? So you see how the angels, the heavenly beings, they sitting there and they warning us. Right? They like, woe to the earth. Because, man, he coming down there, he know he got a short time. What that mean? You know how the kids say, he about to turn up on y'all butts. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what Yahushua was saying. They looking like, man, even the devils is subject to it. Yahushua was like, listen, I just saw a vision. Man coming down here, it's about to get rough. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I ain't going to be here. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go. But it's about to get rough. Right? So you'll see that Yahushua warns him a few times. You know what I'm saying? He do it in John 2. We'll catch that as we get closer to his death. You know what I'm saying? But he warned him in John 2, like, yo, the ruler of this world is coming. You know what I'm saying? So it get turned up a little bit, right? When Satan come down here, people, it's different. My theory is the world a little different. You read these old writings and these old accounts of things, and you see that people seem to be just have more integrity, seem to be just a little bit more honest.
Yeah, way more honest.
You see, you get into, like, you know what I'm saying, the AD time frame. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like that's where all the homosexuality started spreading. Not saying it wasn't there before. Just then, that's when it seemed like that thing became alright. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody just like, yeah, no, go for it. You know what I'm saying? That's when it seemed like everybody just started lying and nobody can tell the story the right way. It's a million different versions of the story and all this stuff. All this stuff just seemed like a mess to me.
Persecution and killings and stuff. Rome was doing some crazy stuff after the Messiah died. Like, they was killing their own people, like, doing all kind of crazy stuff to them.
Yeah, so
even different stuff. You know?
Satan come down. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. This is Luke chapter 10, verse whatever. What verse? Verse 18.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. And nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not that the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven. In that.
You see the man's focus? That's the part that it's like, man, I read this stuff and I just appreciate it, man. It's like, he has like this focus that's just unreal to me. When I be looking like, goodness gracious, imagine like being around somebody. It would be irritating being around somebody that was that focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to tell you how excited I am that I just cast out a demon. I didn't know I could do nothing like that. The man like, I gave you that power, but listen, what you need to be excited about is that your name is written in heaven. That's what you need to be focused on. Rather than, you know what I'm saying, you being able to cast out some darn demon. Man trying to let you know, like, you do realize you can cast out a demon and I'll still put your butt in hell, right? He trying to let you know that's not the most important part this is. Like, I know that looks all fancy and glamorous and people can see you doing it and everybody gonna look at you and be like, you the man. He's like, but really that's not what this is about. Right? That's the focus that we all gotta have. We had that type of focus, man. You can't lose. That's why the man didn't lose. That he didn't even come close to losing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't even come nowhere. You can't even touch him because the man is so focused. You come up there and talking about burying your dead daddy, he gonna be like, oh, well, you know, I got work to do. You can follow me is what you need to be doing. You come up there and talk to him about, man, you hungry, you need to eat a sandwich. Like, no, I need the work of the Lord feed me. That's what that's all the man ever thinking about.
I be doing that to my partner.
You know what I'm saying? Bless your mother. Oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? My mother and my brother and my sister is the ones that obey the word. Like, goodness gracious. Like, you can't say nothing to me. Everything you say to me, oh, well, the word. You gotta be around here and be like, oh, here we go. You know what I'm saying? There we go. I'm about to eat a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you, they was like, all right, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Holy man over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to eat a sandwich. You know that's how they felt. You know it for a fact that's how they would feel today.
Oh, yeah.
That alone would irritate people when they want to kill them. Yep. Like, people, you know what I'm saying? People be acting, you know what I'm saying? Painting this picture like, oh, it's Jesus. Oh, we would love him. Like, nah, your butt would have been irritated. Your evil butt. Your butt can't keep nothing straight in your darn life. You would have, that man would have been all over your darn butt.
But he's like straightforward.
Yeah.
Like something y'all would accept that stuff.
Nah, he ain't not playing with that. He's straightforward and not straightforward. In the worst ways, right? They would have been irritated. Just tell me straight. When you want him to be straight, he'd be like, you know what I'm saying? When you don't want him to be straight, that boy tell you your father the devil. You know what I'm about? Just like, goodness gracious. Boy, he light your butt up. That's a bad man. I tell you, that's a bad man, y'all, sure. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we got.
In that hour, Yahshua rejoiced in spirit and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hid these things from the wise and prudent and has revealed them unto the babes.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If they changed this and they made a Pharisee say this, I guarantee if we walked around to one of these churches tomorrow afternoon, right, and we just asked them a question, what do you think about when the Pharisee thanked God that he hid information from the wise and prudent, but gave it to the babes? They be looking like, well, really, a man of God should really thank God that everybody gets that information. Like, these people don't even understand that what they read don't agree with what they think. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they reading about Yahushua don't agree about what they think about Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even realize it's two totally separate things. It just, they've been so comfortable accepting stuff that don't make sense that they don't even have to put it together in their brain. It's just like, whatever. I know it contradicts. I know it don't make sense. I know this, that, and other. But you know what? But God. You know what I'm saying? But God. That's all them. Gotta slap you over your darn head. You know what I'm saying? People making a darn mess. This man just sat here and said, man, I think that you hid this thing from the wise and the prudent, and you give it to the babes. I appreciate the fact that you understand with that prayer.
Yeah. I
appreciate the fact that these people going right to darn hell. But I thank you for the ones that think they know something. Mm-hmm. These Christians, you know, they think they safe because, like, well, no, Pharisees is the wise and prudent. You do realize you the Pharisee right now.
Yep.
You the one. If I come up to you with the Bible and I say, you know what, you realize this is what that means. You do know that you're gonna be the one to be like, no, my pastor told me this, that, and other. I tell you what, I done read the Bible a bunch of times. I know the Bible. This, that. You gonna be the one that's wise and prudent.
Since you say you see it.
And the man sitting there looking at it like, man, I thank the Most High God. Lord, I appreciate the fact you hid this thing from me. That thing. This whole chapter, I remember I read it out. I was like, woo. I was like, first of all, the man know what it took to have Sidon and Tyre repent and then chose not to do it. And now the man's in here thanking the Father that these people don't have the information to get to life.
Well, you know what it would take for us to get to know who we are, too.
He know all of it. But it's just like to see it in practice, that the man just admitted, he just admitted to everybody, just like, man, I'm trying to tell you, if this would have happened, these boys would have repented. Like, well, you God, why didn't you make it happen? Oh, you didn't want them to repent. Not under those circumstances, right? You didn't want them to repent under those circumstances. You gave them the circumstances that you wanted them to repent under, and they didn't do it.
I sent you what? Isaiah, I sent you Jeremiah, I sent you.
I ain't tap dancing for y'all, but I'm gonna give you what I give you. That's a God there. These people, this stuff that these people be making up, like, oh, like he just about to sit here and roll over and play dead for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Until everybody believes. He gonna send the Messiah to everybody and give everybody a whole bunch of miracles, and everybody gonna, no, that's not him. Man sitting there like, I think I'm happy they didn't know. I'm happy they but can't see this. They but going right to hell. I tried to tell them they didn't know nothing and they didn't want to listen to. All right, let's see. Keep going. People are so darn smart.
Even so, Father, so it seemed good in your sight.
He said, even
all
so
things are delivered to me of my Father, and no man knows who the Son is but the Father, and who the Father is but the Son, and he to whom the Son will reveal him. And he turned him unto his disciples and said privately, Blessed are the eyes which see the things that you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them.
You know what that's he giving them a message of when he say that? He tried to tell them, there's a whole lot of people that's gonna believe without seeing none of this stuff that y'all seeing. He trying to say, this is a responsibility. This is a big responsibility y'all take. Y'all get to see all this. There's a whole lot of people that want to see it and they didn't get to see it. Watch it, keep going.
And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? And he said unto him, What is written in the law? How do you read it?
He said, how do I have eternal? You be over here talking about eternal life and living forever, and you talking about nobody gonna die and this, that, and the other. Okay, so just tell me. Basically, what he's saying is, just tell me plainly, what do I need to do to inherit eternal life? And who asking this question?
A lawyer.
A lawyer. So does that mean it's a lawyer like we think of a lawyer right now?
That knows the law.
This is somebody who's an expert in the law. He knows the law of Moses. So what is Yahushua's response to him going to be?
Well, what's written in the law?
You know the law. You tell me, young man. Because he's trying to trap him. So he jumped out there. Okay, all right. Enough of this talk about the wise and the prudent. All right. Yo, how do I get this eternal life? Just tell me plainly. Yahushua was like, oh, well, what the law say then, boy? Go ahead and tell me.
He answered and said, You shall love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
So this lawyer already has an idea of the answer to his question. That's why it's a tempt. You know how people, they even ask us, they try to catch us up. Okay, well, all right. So if that's the case, how did this happen? Okay, what is this really saying then? They already have the answer in their mind. Right? But they trying to see if your answer gonna line up with what they think the answer is. So the lawyer, Yahushua didn't even put it out there. Yahushua was like, you just tell me. The lawyer jumped out. And he started rattling off the commandments that he thinks would be sufficient to carry a person into eternal life. And let's see what Yahushua say.
And he said unto him, You have answered right.
Look at this.
This do, and you shall
One thing
live.
Yahushua ain't is he ain't unfair. Lawyer already had his idea, but guess what? No, you right about what you said. He tried to tempt him. He tried to jump out there. He was like, well, what you said was right. But watch this. He take it a little further.
But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Yahushua, And who is my neighbor? And Yahushua answered and said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him, and went upon him, and went to him, and bound up his wounds, pouring oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out 2 pence, and gave them to the host, and said unto him, Take care of him, and whatsoever you spend more, when I come again, I will repay you. Which now of these 3 do you think was the neighbor unto him that fell among thieves? And he said, He that showed mercy on him. And Yahushua said, go and do likewise.
Right? So he asked the question, and he said, okay, I keep these commandments. You said I was right about these commandments. He was like, okay, so if you tell me to love my neighbor, now let me try to catch you up in this. Who exactly is my neighbor? Is the person standing next to me? Is the person, is that not? So Yahushua gives them a story. Yeah, somebody in my nation, not in my nation. Yahushua give them a story of a Gentile, Samaritan, right? And the Samaritan helped out the Hebrew. Ain't nobody asked him to. No, he just said, look, help him out, pay for his stuff, and did all that. Then he asked him a question after. He was like, okay, so the Hebrew that was hurt, which one of these, three was a neighbor? Or was a neighbor to him?
Priest, was it the Levite?
Yeah, like, man, the neighbor was that Samaritan. So now, what he just set up, a lot of people get this wrong, by the way. A lot of people flip it. And they're looking at it, so that's why everybody is your neighbor. That's not what that story told you. Not everybody is not your neighbor. That's not what he just told you. The man just told you, the people doing the will of the Most High God. The one that had mercy. That was your neighbor. He's presenting us with a story where even the Gentiles is taking care of the Hebrews. They have mercy on the Hebrew. And if the Gentile has mercy on the Hebrew, then you see that man as your neighbor too.
And it's just like everywhere you look in the book, you know what I'm saying, it catches up the notion that only Hebrews gonna be
Yeah, these people make a fool. Make a darn fool of themselves, right? But you look at it and you see the Christian would look at this and be like, see, anybody might be your neighbor. They look at it in the reverse. Like, as a Hebrew, you never know who gonna help you out, right? As one of God's people, you never know. So just everybody is your neighbor. No, that's not what this is describing. He's saying which one of them was a neighbor to you. The only way he's describing what happened, and you saying after assessing the actions of this person, this was the neighbor. It's activity. All this stuff is action based. It ain't no just blanket. Everybody's my neighbor. I should just love everybody. Ain't nothing wrong with loving everybody. But that's just not the require. That's not what the man's saying. Man said, love your neighbor. In other words, love the people that do the will of God. Even if they outside of your country. Even if they seem like an outsider of your group or whatever it is. If these people end up doing the will of the Most High God, that got that. Even if they're not doing all of the will of the Most High God, but they've shown mercy unto you, then them is the people that you give your attention to. They show mercy unto your brother, your people. I'm talking specifically about Hebrews. Them is the people that you give your attention to. They continue in their wicked ways, and that's on them. You know what I'm saying? But our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, right? That's the ones that do the will of our Father. Right? It's simple. It's not even like, it ain't even like the whole bunch of, those are the ones that we give our attention. I know it's cool to, you know what I'm saying, give money out to bums that's on the street and this, that, and the other, or homeless people, I should say, that's on the street and all that stuff. I understand that's cool, and I'm not saying that's wrong. I ain't saying nothing wrong about it. All I'm saying is, if I got a hungry brother who keeps the will of the Father, and I have a hungry stranger who just out on the street asks for money, and both of them are Hebrew people, guess who I'm going to first? My brother. That got that. But then in the same token, if I see a white man helping out my stranger brother here, that's a Hebrew, who's begging for money, even if he don't obey the will of the Father, and this stranger white man show mercy onto him and give him money, then guess what? All right, until you show me different, you my neighbor. Right? That's how we have to approach these things. That's how he's trying to tell us. He's looking like, listen, this thing is all about God. It's all about obedience. It's all about doing what the man told us to do. And I don't care who do it. That's what it comes down to. Let's see, keep going.
Now it came to pass as they went, and he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahushua's feet and heard his word.
Look, so Mary is right at Yahushua's feet, and she heard his word. Mary's sitting there trying to soak up all of it. She's looking like, okay, what's going on? But Martha, let's hear about Martha.
But Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister left me to serve alone?
So Martha's sitting there looking like, It's a whole lot of stuff going on here. I'm trying to get everything ready. And do you not even, like, it don't even bother you that my sister just sitting at your feet and she ain't helping me out? Like, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm trying to make sure everybody taken care of. My sister just sitting there, lazy butt, just sitting there in front of you. So she talking to y'all, she was like, oh, that don't even bother you. I'm doing all the work, my sister ain't helping me. Yeah, I mean, you ain't even got no criticism for that. Let's hear about it.
Bid her therefore that she help me.
Uh-huh.
Yeshua answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. But one thing is needful, and Mary has chosen that good part which shall not be taken away from her.
That's what we've been talking about all day. It's one thing that's needful. Understand and learn the word. Everybody careful about, oh man, what's going to happen in the end of days? And, oh, is COVID-19 one of God's judgments? And, oh, is this going to happen? And is it going to be a rapture or no? And are we the Hebrews or no? Or how the Jewish people and this and that and all this other stuff. And we all concerned and careful and anxious about all these different things. But there's one thing that's needful, and ain't nobody doing it. Ain't nobody walking up and just be like, yo, can you just teach me the book? That's what Mary is doing. Mary's sitting there just like, look, just teach. I just want to learn. Martha's sitting there trying to make sure, okay, oh, that's good, this, that, another. And both of them have value in what they're doing. Yahushua's saying, this is the thing that if nobody get fed, if nothing get clean, everybody in this room can still end up going to the kingdom. It's possible. But if nobody know the word, if nobody learn how to get into the kingdom, I don't care if you clean, you don't clean, this, that, another, everybody going to hell. So he's saying, what's priority here? She picked the thing that's priority for her, and she right about it. He's saying, you running around doing all this stuff, man. That stuff, man, that's going to mess around and get you in a rut. Let's see, keep going. We got to have that same mindset. It requires us to have that same mindset where it's just like, that's what we do. We put this in practice, right? It's like, man, we not jumping out. We not doing a whole bunch of events or trying to do all this extra stuff, trying to get on TV, trying to do all this stuff. Our most important thing, the only thing we want to do is teach the word. Right? That's it. Consistently, every weekend, we teach the word. We're going to broadcast it. We're going to make sure you tune in. I don't care if we get 2 views. I don't care if we get 102 views. I don't care if we get 1,000 views. It doesn't matter. What we will do is teach the word constantly and consistently, and it's going to be there. Right? People here ain't going to listen to it. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? You remember when the lady from Cuba, you know what I'm saying, when she wrote us? You know what I'm saying? Tell me, we don't even speak her darn language. You know what I'm saying? She wrote, I had to use Google Translate to even see what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, people here just looking like, man, you know what I'm saying?
It's true though, man. It's like,
that's how the Most High God set it up.
people like right around within the area right here, was like looking way over there.
Yeah.
Like literally right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what tripped me out.
That's how it is. That's how the Most High God set it up. That's why I just take consistency. Just get the most needful thing. Most needful thing, learn the book. You learn the book, you understand the book, you understand what a sin is and what it's saying, man, you rolling. Everything else, nothing else even. All the other stuff will come together if the God, Most High God wanted to. Most High God wants the stuff, the other stuff. If he wants you to understand the eschatology and all the stuff as these people call it, you know what I'm saying, then it'll come. You'll understand how the end of the world, that's what the Christians call end of the world. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to understand that stuff, man. Look, they always put something fancy on something.
That's how you know you don't know it. Like,
yeah, be like, okay. Soon as they get talking like that, be like, oh, okay.
You ever heard them like explain an insect species, bro? That thing be hilarious. No, bro, it's a grasshopper. Just call it a grasshopper. I don't even think they even know what those words mean, honestly.
They probably do in those fields when they get to applying that stuff to the Bible, though. You don't know what you're talking about. Cause it's just a difference of who you learned it from. Like, you know what I'm saying? You talk about insects, it's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? You might got some of it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might know the most about insects. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else. The only person gonna correct you is the Most High God on some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you might know the most. It might not be, because the Most High God, my book don't document a whole bunch about insects. You know what I'm saying? But when you come to this book, and you get to putting all that little scientific spin on all this stuff, that's when I know, like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Because that means, like, science is different, right? Science means that you approaching something that there's no answers for. And so through a series of tests and experiments or observations or whatever, you develop theories. So that's different. It's like, I got insects or I got animals. It's like there's no answers for this stuff. Like it doesn't exist. I can't go to a book and figure this stuff out. I have to write the book. So here's my theory. Based off of what I've seen, this is what I think is happening. Right? You might turn out to be like 85% right about what you observed. And there may not be a source that's more right. You can't find them more right. But when you come to the book, that thing already figured out. So now, when you get to applying all this other language, you know what that tells me? That you didn't consult the book. Because if you consult the book, you would call it what the book called it. Right? Now you consulted your normal theories, and you tried to apply theories to where theories don't belong, and now you're making a darn mess. The book, we already got answers. I'm not saying there's answers for everything. I'm just saying that we already got answers. You know what I'm talking about? And when you give me an answer from the book, I want it to come from the book. You get to talk to me about Mosaic and Abrahamic and all this other, you know what I'm saying, eschatolic and pastoral and all the, you know what I'm saying, all these extra things. When you get to talk to me about all that, I'm like, oh, you didn't get that from the book. Matter of fact, I can't think of a version. I can't think of a Bible version that talks that way. And if it do talk that way, it was written by somebody who think like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, we good. We gonna stick with the King James. You talk to me about thy, thee, and thus, and all that, and I'll be like, oh, okay, you might know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You start using, you know what I'm saying, these old English words, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, yeah, you got that from the King James version. Be like, well, that's the book. You got that from the book then. I'll mess with you. Don't come to me talking to me about no eschatology. Yeah, I'm a darn faith. I'm a theologian. But you know, kid, what the heck is a theologian? If you don't get out of my darn faith expecting me to respect something that you talking about because you telling me you a theologian, I respect you when you tell me something that makes sense. When you tell me something that line up with the book, I respect you. You call yourself what you want to call it. Based off of you telling me, oh, he's a theologian, he has his degree, and you can get out of my darn face. They made a fool out of you paying all that money for that degree. If you can't, listen, if you got your degree and go through all that stuff and you can't accurately lay out this book and line it up in a way that a man and a woman who hears you has the opportunity to make it into the kingdom with confidence, I do not want to hear about none of that theology stuff. You get out my darn, you've never seen that word in our book. It ain't a Hebrew word that are tied back to it. They made up stuff. You letting these people teach you our book, that's crazy to me. I'd rather pick it up myself than let somebody who ain't got no business teaching it to me. I'd rather pick it up myself. Kid you not, we ain't go to nobody. We ain't go to, what pastor we went to was like, yo, so how do we help us understand? We ain't go to none of that stuff. You look, the whole reason I'm reading it because I don't trust what y'all saying.
Yeah, that's why we started.
Yeah.
It's like, let me.
I'd have sat down in this church if I thought you were telling me the truth. I'm sitting here, I have questions. And it seems like you are uninterested in answering these questions. But I'm sitting here and go to you with more question for it. Like, nah, you know what? I might well just open this up myself. I'm pretty confident in my ability to read. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna open it up myself. And I'm just gonna see what let's just see what happens.
The fact that I've never heard, like 80% of the book, I've never heard or even seen it. You know what I'm saying? That just made people like.
You know what I'm saying? I'm under the impression you ain't never read it. Can we just put it out there? I'm under the impression that a lot of these pastors ain't never really read this book.
It wasn't that I knew what the Bible was saying. It was like the fact that I didn't know these books were in it and what it was saying I never heard before. And I've been in church my whole life since a kid. So it was like, it wouldn't make sense to go back there because they not covering what I was reading. So.
Yeah, y'all clearly not interested in all this other stuff.
Yeah.
All it takes is pick up the book and understand it, man. I'm not running none of these people try to understand some stuff. Listen, I'm teachable. You come with some information, I'll listen to it and I'll learn from it and I'll be taught. I'm teachable. A lot of people try to act like, man, you just refuse to learn from other people and this, that, and other. Like, man, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? If people really knew my history, they'd know that's not true. You know what I'm saying? I love learning stuff. But let me tell you what I'm not about to do. You're not about to trick me. You're not about to teach me some mess. I'm not falling for the okie doke. At least not easily. You're gonna have to pull out all the stops for me. I'm checking into it. We're gonna make sure we understand. Especially when it comes to this book. You have to show me where the book said. And don't try to do that voodoo. I'm not falling for the voodoo. You know, you're not about to show me, you're not about to tell me God loves everybody and then show me a passage where it say God loved the world when you was yet sinner. That's not the same. That's how they trick people. They try, see, God loved everyone. Let me prove it to you. He first loved the world when they was yet sinners. You think you can try to fool some of these other people? They think that's saying the same thing. That's not saying that's not what that just said. God loved the world. Everybody's in the world. God loved everybody, right? Like, okay, you try that voodoo with somebody else, I'll light your butt up. Read 2 passages down, please. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not falling for the okie doke. I'm gonna teach you how to read the book. Any questions? Let's pray out.